Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are ready to go. We're just going to give it a couple of minutes for everybody to join. Thank you, and we'll be starting soon. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Naeem from Talent Beyond Boundaries. And today we're going to talk about international employment pathways and how you can compete in an international job market. We gave it a couple of minutes for everybody to join, but I think we are ready to start. If you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them. And towards the end of the session, we're going to provide a Q&A, a space for Q&As. So we're going to answer all your questions and all your concerns. So for now, let's get started. All right, again, thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to talk about how refugees and other displaced people can access international employment pathways and how they can secure an opportunity for them to compete in the international job market. So let's get started. First of all, after we discussed what this webinar is going to be talking about, let's just break down the topics so we can follow along. First of all, we're going to introduce ourselves, we as Talent Beyond Boundaries, and then we're going to talk about international employment opportunities and the challenges you might face while applying to them, and how we help you overcome these challenges. We're also going to share some stories of our candidates, and then we're going to talk about how we work as TBB, and then we're going to show you how you can benefit, how to sign up and register, and what to expect. And finally, we're going to have a Q&A session to talk about any questions that you might have. So I'm sharing my screen. If you have any questions, again, put in the comments, and we're going to get back to them towards the end of the session. So first of all, who is Talent Beyond Boundaries? Well, shortly, we are a global nonprofit. We are committed to opening labor mobility pathways for refugees and other displaced people. And what this means is that we believe that refugees have skills, and we believe that you deserve to get a chance to compete in an international job market. And therefore, we try to help you to do this by facilitating your access to opportunities and facilitating how you can prepare yourself through interviews, through English prep, and all of that. We don't work on refugee resettlement, so we're not a resettlement organization. That is not what we do. We rather link you with employers who are interested in hiring you based solely on your skills. So you might find that some candidates were chosen based on their skills, but they're not necessarily the most vulnerable. But that is the case for our work. We solely choose candidates based on their skills and their ability to do the work. So where do we work in terms of our operations? Well, anybody who is a refugee or a stateless person or a displaced person can register at the Talent Catalog. Our operations at the time being concern people in Lebanon, Jordan, and Turkey. And this is where most of our offices operate and intake candidates to talk to them to understand the skills that they might have and their interest in international opportunities. And then our destination countries, as we call them, are Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom. And we've been endorsed by the governments of these countries, meaning that we have established programs or pathways that enable you to gain access to these countries while facilitating and taking into account the challenges that you might face while applying for visas and work. Now, it's important to mention that what we want to do is give you access to a country where you have full rights, where you can work, but where you can also have a durable solution. Because we know that it's very difficult for you to secure a job legally in the countries where you are right now, whether that's Lebanon, Jordan, or even Turkey. So the purpose of our work or the philosophy of our work is giving you access to a durable solution, whatever that means to you. If it means having a permanent residence for you and your family, or gaining access to citizenship, or simply having access to the right to work. So this is the end goal through your skills and your ability to get the work done. Now, you might have faced some of these challenges when you tried applying to international employment opportunities before. You might have stumbled upon the lack of sufficient legal and professional documents, that is, your degrees, maybe your passports, maybe your birth certificate, all of these documents that are usually required for you to be able to access international employment, to be able to apply for visas, to be able to sign a contract. So if this is one of the problems that you are facing while applying to international employment, we can help you by helping you obtain these documents through many various means, whether that be financial support or logistical support or legal support. This varies on a case-by-case basis, but we try our best to help you secure all the legal documents that are required for you to apply to visas or international employment. Sometimes you have your documents, but you're not able to meet the qualifications or the requirements set by certain countries, whether that means financial requirements, you need to have a bank account, or that means having a certain number of years of experience. We will help you and support you with your visa application. And as we mentioned before, after we've been endorsed by governments of our destination countries, the requirements for you, if you are endorsed by our program, can be facilitated to a certain degree to help you gain access to these pathways. Whether, like, for example, if you don't have access to a bank account, we might help you establish one, or we might help you with the settlement funds. Sometimes there are barriers that are linguistic. Maybe you don't speak enough English that is sufficient for you to gain access to a visa or a country. We will provide you with resources to improve your English through conversation, through courses, through any means necessary for you to improve your English. Because even if you secure a job opportunity that has maybe low English requirements, English skills requirements, the visa pathway that is needed for this to work, for you to gain access to gain your visa, you might need to demonstrate a certain level of English. Usually the minimum of this is an IELTS score of 4.5, even though in some countries this can go up to 6.5, depending on your profession and your country of destination. And therefore, we want to help you establish your English skills. Sometimes you might face difficulties with your CV or your interview. So with your CV, we can help you write a CV that is good for the position that you want to apply to. That is, if you are a nurse, for example, we want to help you write a CV that is specific for your field, that's going to help you demonstrate the skills that you have. Sometimes you have difficulties when interviewing if you make it to later stages. These difficulties can be technical difficulties if you don't have sufficient internet at home. And this means that we're going to provide you with connection through our offices or through internet cards or any means necessary for you to be able to access good internet and to establish the interview. Sometimes your difficulties might not be technical. They might be that you maybe feel that you're not ready for the interview, or you're not confident, or maybe you haven't done an interview in a long time. And our team is going to help you with preparing for this interview. And we're going to help you with a mock interview that's going to mimic the actual interview before you do it. And therefore, you're going to be ready to tackle the interview and go forward with it. So these are some of the challenges, of course, not all of them, that you might face on your side as a candidate who is interested in international employment. We will help you with these challenges, and we're going to provide you with the means necessary to overcome them. So, knowing that you are able to overcome these barriers, are you ready to start a new life, to be the next candidate that you can be able to start a new life and establish a new beginning for you and your family? Of course you can. And we can't guarantee an opportunity for everyone, but we would like to help you in any way that we can. So if you register on the talent catalog, you will join over 1,000 people who benefited from our services, whether that means relocating or traveling, or also language skills, or interviewing with international employers, which is going to help you evolve your skills to be able to tackle opportunities in the future if you don't have one right now. You're also going to join 28,000 people who registered already from various professions. Our work is not only concerned with people who have degrees. We're not only helping doctors and engineers. We're also helping people who could be carpenters, who could be of professions like welders, who aren't necessarily college graduates, but they have enough English and they have the qualifications required to tackle the job. So don't feel discouraged if you come from a profession that is not necessarily very well known or that you don't think is in demand. We're happy to take you on with whatever your profession is. We can't guarantee that we'll get you an opportunity, but we can guarantee that our team is doing the best that they can to help you do this. And also, you will join 300 candidates who either traveled or are waiting for their visas. So how do you start? Knowing that we can help you with this and knowing that you have what it takes to start this journey. First of all, you need to know that it's very easy and quick. It's a very simple application form that you can start and add your skills and experiences to it. It takes less than 10 minutes, give or take, and also it's completely free of charge. And this is something we would like to emphasize. We are a nonprofit. We don't charge you for any of our services, whether that means giving you access to English courses or giving you access to interview prep or giving you even an opportunity that can change your life. We do all of this for free, and we will never ask you for any money in return. And finally, you need to know that your information is safe and secure. You are in control of your data. You can sign up, you can come in at any time, log into your profile and change any of the details. You can simply delete your profile if you decide that you don't want to pursue this. We do not share your data without your consent. We call you, we contact you, and we make sure that you are comfortable with us sharing your data. So what are you waiting for? To do this, you need to start by visiting our talent catalog, which is a software that we use to collect data about your professional experiences and skills. You can do this by either visiting tbbtalent.org or scanning the QR code that you see on the screen right now. Now, you don't have to do this now because I'm going to walk you through this. So once you go to the website, this is the first screen that you'll see. You can read the frequently asked questions. You can determine whether you're eligible or not. And you can find employment resources that can help you if you want to prepare for an interview or improve your English skills. You can access the website in Arabic as well. And you can read testimonies from our previous candidates. So once you are ready, you can click on this button here, which says register now. And then you're going to start with the first step, which is your contact information. Here, we're going to ask you for ways we can contact you if we have an opportunity for you. This includes your email, phone number, and WhatsApp number. It's recommended here that you add as many contact details as possible. So in case you change your number, we can contact you by email. Or if your email is inaccessible at the moment, we can contact you through WhatsApp. And this is where you can also set your password to access your account later. So after finishing this step, you can click on next, and then you can tell us about yourself, your name, your date of birth, your gender, and where you're currently living. Because this is going to help us determine what are the barriers that are presented to you based on your country of residence. And this is going to help us determine whether you need some sort of support, whether it's technical or getting to our offices in the later stages. You're going to tell us about if you're comfortable about the date which you arrived to this country, your current nationality, if you have access to another nationality, and you can give us details whether or not you're registered with the UNRWA or the UNHCR. And this is not mandatory. You don't need to be registered with the UNHCR or UNRWA to be eligible for our services. But if you are comfortable with that, this is going to help us gather more useful details about your profile and help you better. And this again enable us to establish some legal grants to your identity and how we can help you later in the visa stages. After you tell us about yourself, you can go and tell us about your occupation, your main area of expertise. And this is not the place where you tell us about your previous experiences. This is the place where you tell us, okay, I have experience in the field of nursing, or I have experience in the field of accounting. And this experience is for 4 years, for example. If you have experience in more than 2 occupations, you can add nursing, you can add accounting as well. You can also add administration. As many fields as you like to give us. Now, after you do this, you're going to start adding useful details about your work experience. This includes the company you worked with, the country in which you worked, the date through which you were an employee for this company or firm, and then you're going to tell us about your title, the job description. And this is the most important part, to tell us about what responsibilities did you have, what skills did you learn, what did you do as an employee at this company. This is going to help us to match you with an opportunity that's going to help you elevate your life. But we can't do that if you don't give us enough details to find you in the first place. And you can add details like if this is a full-time job, this was paid or voluntary, add everything that you would like to add and add as many details as you would. Now, after you do that, you can tell us about your educational background. You can add the highest level of education that you've obtained, any kind of degrees that you have. For example, if you have a bachelor's degree in nursing, you can add it here. You can add which university. Pretty straightforward. Now, this is an important part as well, which is adding your language skills. So when you add your language skills, this is going to help us determine whether or not you're a good fit for a given opportunity. So not every opportunity requires the highest level possible of English. The opportunities that we get vary, but nonetheless, we would like you to give us an estimate of how you see yourself in your English skills. If you speak additional languages, of course, you can add them too. Now, if you have any professional certifications, such as a child nursing training, if you went to some sort of facility and they taught you how to deal with a specific case, if you received training for a period of time, you can add it here. You can add the date, you can add the given entity. This is not a mandatory field, but if you have any skills you would like to add, then please add them here. And the last part is any additional information that you have. So for example, if you are interested in a certain opportunity or a certain country, or if you have a certain situation or certain family situation you would like us to be aware of, this is completely optional, but if you would like to add it, then please go ahead. And also you can tell us where you heard about us so we can help more people through this channel. And if you have a LinkedIn profile, you can add it here as well. And reaching the final step, which is uploading any documents. So if you have any kind of degree or certificate, you can add it here. That's not mandatory, but you can. You can also add your CV, and it's also not mandatory, but we strongly encourage you to add your CV here because that's going to help us gain an idea of how you would like to present yourself and any kind of details that you didn't mention through your application. And this is going to help us have your CV handy. So if you decide, if we find an opportunity for you, we can immediately forward your CV to an employer. And now that we reached this point, after you click submit, your application goes to our database. And the reason that this, the way that this works, we receive your application and we keep it. We're not going to contact you immediately. We're going to have your application with us. And once we have an opportunity that from an employer, let's say somebody wants to hire a nurse with experience in mental health support, we go through our talent catalog and we search for candidates who have this sort of skill set that the employer is asking for. And then if we find you that you might be eligible, then we contact you and tell you, are you interested in this opportunity? And then we take it forward. So after you finish, you can view your CV. If you don't have one, you can generate one, and then you can view your profile and log into it at any time to edit the details or make any changes that you think are going to improve your profile. And that's the last thing you'll see. You can always continuously log in, as I said. So after this is done, I think it's useful to talk about what makes a successful candidate, because of course we We have so many candidates with so little opportunities. So how can you make yourself stand out? Now, of course, one of the ways to do this is completing your profile, as we mentioned, with all the necessary details, especially details about your working history. Now, the details that we're talking about include your responsibilities, where you worked, what skills that you used. So, for example, if you're a programmer or if you come from a tech background, mention the programming languages that you use. Any projects have you established? Any web links that can help us see any examples of your work. You can also the another important part is adding your English skill level, and that's going to help us determine if you meet the criteria that's required for this certain opportunity that we're looking for. And also, as we mentioned, it is important to add your CV. So if you have one, then please add it. The other thing that makes a very successful candidate is English, and we cannot emphasize this enough. If you feel like your language skills need some work, then please start now. Because so many times we receive applications from candidates who are a perfect fit, but they couldn't secure enough IELTS scores or English skills scores to be eligible for either the visa or the opportunity. And therefore, we ask you that you continue working on your English language skills. And if you need any support, then get in touch with us through Facebook or email so we can provide you with resources to improve your English. And the last thing is to follow us on our social channels. And that's not just promotion, because on our social channels, we share ongoing opportunities. So we share the opportunities that we have right now. So maybe we didn't find your profile initially, so you reach out to us. Maybe you forgot to update your profile, and then you saw this opportunity, and then you would contact us on Facebook or through email. Hey, I'm interested in this opportunity, so please check my profile. So please keep up to date, and if you have any questions, then like always, get in touch with us, and we're going to share our contact information later on. So at this stage, I'm going to provide some frequently asked questions and misconceptions about the way we work. So to do that, we're gonna look at some of the inquiries that we receive from many of our candidates. So first of all, can we as TBB guarantee that you will receive a job offer? As much as we want to say yes, the answer is no. We want to help everybody, but we cannot guarantee that just by registering, you are automatically eligible for a job opportunity, because this solely depends on the offers that we receive from employers and also the international labor market. So it's subject to many variables, but we're going to promise you that we're going to try our best to match you with an opportunity. So another question is, how long does the process take? Now, we can't answer that because it also depends on many variables. First of all is your destination country, because processing times differ. Second of all is your current situation and your very specific context. Maybe you're missing some documents. Maybe your application is taking longer to process. But this can range from very quickly in 2 months and can take well over a year. So please do not consider this as something that's going to happen immediately. Again, we're not a resettlement agency. What we do is we connect you with jobs. We don't provide you with a guarantee or a certain time frame, but we try our best to stay as clear as possible during the process. So another question that we get a lot of time is, why hasn't TBB contacted me? And we would like to contact as many candidates as possible, but this is also very difficult, first of all, because of the big number that we receive. And second of all, from a logistical perspective, we will only contact you if an employer expresses interest in your profile. So for example, if an employer found your profile and they found that you are eligible for the position they're advertising, then that's when we're going to contact you to gain more information and see if you're interested in this opportunity. But just by registering, that doesn't mean that we'll contact you immediately. So we're only going to contact you when there is an opportunity for you, or if we need more information. So the other question that we receive a lot of times is, how do we select candidates? And the answer is, we don't. We don't select who gets hired or who gets to travel. We connect you with an employer, and the employer is the entity that decides who goes forward with the application. The employer or the company decide that we want to hire this person, and then they tell us to go forward with the application. That's when we start gaining an understanding that you are eligible, the employer is interested in you, and then we contact you and start with the process if you would like to go forward with it. But we as TBB, we don't decide who gets hired and who doesn't. The other question is, does this program cost money? And the answer is an absolute no. We are a nonprofit and we do not ask you for money. All of our services are for free, from training, from mock interviews, and until getting to the job offer. All of our services are completely free of charge. So another question is, what if you secure a job offer outside of TBB? Let's say you applied to our company outside, maybe in Canada, and they offered you a position, but then you struggled to secure all the documents or to go through the visa process. If this is the case, we may be able to help you. So we ask that you reach out to us through email to tell us about your situation, and then we can gather more information. We might be able to help you with the visa process or through one of our pathways. So the last question that is on this slide, not the last question that we received, but the last question on this slide, it's a very frequent question. Are candidates selected based on vulnerability? And the answer is no. We connect you based on your qualifications. So if you are a fit for a position, and if an employer is interested in you, that's when we do the connection. It's not based on your current situation or your vulnerability. So with this point, we reach the questions and answers section of our webinar. So right now, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments and we'll be happy to answer them. And if you have anything that you need clarified, then we'll be more than happy to get back to it. So here I am, stop sharing my screen. So let us start with some of the questions that we received. So this is a very interesting question. If asylum seekers can apply or not. Now, if you are an asylum seeker in a country where you are seeking asylum, so for example, if you're an asylum seeker currently in Canada, then unfortunately you would not be eligible for our services because our model is basically centered around labor mobility. We connect people in our source countries, as we call them, in Lebanon, Jordan, and Turkey, and other countries in the near future with employment opportunities. And the reason that you wouldn't be eligible is that you already have a pathway to secure a durable solution, and that is your asylum application. And again, just to reemphasize, the reason that we do what we do is because we want to provide you with a long-term solution that gets you out of your state based on your skills and only your skills. But if you already secured something through asylum or through a refugee status in a country that is processing your application, then you already have access to a certain kind of solution. And that's why we wouldn't be able to help you with this case. So right now I'm just looking at the questions. So this is one of the questions that we get. I am Lebanese and I went to emigrate. There are two misconceptions here. First of all, about immigration. Again, we are not an immigration agency. We do not offer immigration services. We match you with employers who are interested in having your skills, and you move based on your skills. You go to work and not to immigrate. So our job is not to facilitate any immigration applications, and we don't have the authority to do that. All we do is connect you to employers who are interested in your skills if you are a refugee or displaced person or stateless person, which gets me to my second point. If you are Lebanese and you are currently in Lebanon, or if you are a national by the broad sense and you are living in your home country, that is, if you are, for example, Jordanian living in Jordan, Lebanese in Lebanon, then unfortunately we would not be able to help you. And the reason behind this is that you have access to other immigration pathways. You can go to a certain country based on immigration, based on even a work permit, but that happens because you have access to these pathways because you are a citizen. Meanwhile, for refugees, unfortunately, there are many burdens that prevent them from doing this, from going through the regular route. That is, applying through a regular application or applying for a job and not being able to travel because of their situation. And this is why our work centers and helps refugees and not nationals in their country. Because you as a national, you have the ability to apply for immigration or to apply for work and to access maybe a bank account. But a refugee cannot do that. And that's why we try to facilitate all of these things to be able to support these people who don't have these privileges to apply on their own. Looking at the questions again. So again, we see this question repeating. Unfortunately, we are not currently able to help you if you are Lebanese. And again, this is if you are Lebanese living in Lebanon. And this is because, first of all, as we mentioned, you have access to regular immigration pathways, regular employment, and also because our pathways that we have established with world governments entitle us to work only with refugees who do not have access to either their documents or have access to a bank account or have the facilities needed to apply. And the answer is, again, no. We have another question. Can we apply if we are currently studying at university? So if you're currently a university student, we strongly encourage you to apply. And the reason behind this is that, first of all, we would have your application. We would know what skills you are gaining right now. And many of our current opportunities actually hire fresh graduates. So especially, for example, our current program for nurses in the UK, some section of that program is actually intaking fresh graduates from nursing schools. So if you are a university student, then please do apply. However, this depends. We can't guarantee that you will get an opportunity, because if you apply as a university student and the position that is the company that is interested in you requires having a university degree, then you would not be eligible for this position, and you might have to wait until you graduate. However, if you are currently studying at university and the position doesn't require having a university degree, then you would have the option of continuing your education somewhere else or even dropping out to go pursue this work opportunity. So this is a case-by-case question. But if you are a university student, then we do encourage you to apply, because you could be eligible for an opportunity in the future or in the present if you decide to go forward with it. So this is kind of a question that I'm going to generalize. Are you still hiring for the mechanical engineer? We can't tell you that we are like we have these skills that we're hiring for, like we only hire engineers or we hire nurses. That is not the case. So we don't have a set of professions that we're hiring for and we're just getting candidates for them. That is not the case. We have current opportunities that may have to deal with mechanical engineers or nurses, but that is not the case always. Our work depends on employers and the job market in our destination countries, that is currently Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom. So if an employer approaches us and asks us for, they want to hire a mechanical engineer, that's when we start actively outreaching to you and contacting mechanical engineers. So if there is no opportunity for mechanical engineers, then we wouldn't be able to help you. But it really depends on the opportunities that we get from employers. And we want to assure you that our team in our destination countries is doing the best that they can to secure more opportunities for candidates. So if you are in any field, you can apply. This doesn't mean that you will be automatically eligible, because we've helped people from a variety of fields before. We've helped nurses, we've helped engineers, we've helped welders, we've helped carpenters. So we're not really sector dependent. We are more labor market dependent. So if an employer reaches out to us for an opportunity for mechanical engineers, then we would do that. Currently, we do have an ongoing opportunity for mechanical engineers, and we are contacting applicants who are interested, who might be eligible for this. Okay, looking at the questions again. So this is an interesting question. If I have no university degree, but I got several trainings, boot camps, and internships in web development, will my application be strong? The answer to this is yes, but also depends on the opportunity. So for example, if we get an opportunity for programmers, and you are someone who is very proficient in programming, you've done all these internships, all these online courses, for example, or these boot camps, but you don't have a university degree. This only depends on the employer. So if the employer asks us that they want specifically people with university degrees, then you wouldn't be able to sit for this opportunity. However, if the employer is very happy to intake you if you don't have a university degree, then we would facilitate an interview and then you would be treated just like a regular applicant. So this depends on the requirements of the employer. So if you do that, then if you don't have a university degree, then we do encourage you to sign up, and we're going to contact you based on the opportunity that would be a fit for you. So again, we do the matching here. All right. It seems that one of our streams on YouTube is facing a problem. Let me check it for 1 second. So I hope you all can still hear me right now, but this happens all the time. So let's hope that we're not facing any technical difficulties at the moment. Okay, seems that everything is working. So I really hope that you still hear me right now. All right, going back to our questions. Okay, we have another interesting question. Do you use any algorithms which choose the potential candidate? And the answer is no. We don't use algorithms or any sort of machine thing that does choose the applicant. So what happens is we get an opportunity, for example, in engineering, and the requirements are having 3 years of experience and speaking excellent English, for example. So we go through our talent catalog, and then we do a search. Our search tool allows us to see what you submitted in your profile, and it counts how many years of experience that you have, your language skills, and then we look at your profile. If you are a fit for this opportunity, then a member of our team is going to contact you. So no automated choosing of candidates is going on. So it's completely done by our team, because hiring is not an automated process, and we believe that you should be hired based on your skills. So we want to give you the chance to demonstrate that. And that's why we ask you to add as many details as possible, because if you add more details, this will mean that we're going to have a better picture of your profile, and we're going to be able to find you more easily when we have an ongoing opportunity. So no, there are no algorithms that are in the process. Okay, a question about English skills. Is B1 certificate enough for the employers? And the question is not yes or no, it really depends. So for example, for certain roles, an employer would ask us for a candidate who speaks good English, not excellent, just good English, and they have a certain year of experience, certain number of years of experience. In that case, a B1 certificate could be enough. However, in some roles, a B1 certificate is not enough, because the employer would ask us for someone who speaks excellent English. And that way we would be only outreaching to candidates who speak excellent English. However, even if the employer themselves do not require an excellent command of English, the visa itself might require you to have a certain level of English. The lowest that we've encountered so far is an IELTS score of equivalent of 4.5, even though this could go up to 6.5 or 6.5. So it really depends on the employer first, and the visa that you're applying to your destination country as well. So this is a slightly different question. On which criteria are employers chosen? So if I understand the question correctly, is how are we choosing the employers that we work with? So this is a slightly different question than that's the candidate. So we don't go and outreach to every employer there. We try to outreach to our network who are interested in working with us. And there are lots of logistical and paperwork that's done behind the scenes that are required by the government. So an employer needs to be eligible to be able to intake candidates to our program. And if any employer is interested, they can just fill an expression of interest through our website. They can go and add their details, and we can contact them to see if they would be able to sponsor one of our candidates, or if the position that they're asking for could be filled through our candidates. So to answer your question briefly, there's no certain criteria as to why our candidates chosen, our employers chosen. If an employer is interested, they can fill a form on our website, and I can just link it here if you have an employer in mind that you think that might be interested, or if you secured an opportunity outside of TBB and you are you want to forward this to your employer, you can just forward this website, talentbeyondboundaries.org/EOI, expression of interest, and that's when the employer can go and register their expression of interest. All right. Looking at the questions again. Okay, so I am from Syria. All my certificates were lost and destroyed. Can I register? Currently residing in Lebanon. The answer is a big yes. If your documents or certificates were lost, that is completely fine. We're going to try to help you to reobtain them through various means in whatever way we can. And we've done this with our previous candidates who were eligible for a position, but their documents were lost. And not only their certificates, sometimes maybe it's an ID card or a birth certificate. So we have our team of lawyers, we have our team on the ground that's going to help you to obtain your documents. So if you have documents that are lost, feel free to apply. And you don't need to upload your documents when registering. They're not necessary for you to be eligible. Just add your details, and when we get to a point where you are eligible for an opportunity, we're going to ask you to provide your documents or scans of them. And that's when we are going to try to see what we can do about your situation. But for the time being, definitely do apply. All right. So are you planning to offer internships or playing a role to reach these opportunities, or just helping with job opportunities? Okay, so if I understand your question correctly, you're asking if we can sponsor candidates to go on internships. And I'm not the most qualified person to answer this because the other team members know better about this. But essentially, we've not worked with internships before because typically internships are not sufficient for a person to sustain themselves in a given country. They're not sufficient to secure you enough income to live and work and rent and all of that. So if you want a better answer to this question, please feel free to email us at info@talentbeyondboundaries. We're going to share the email, and we might be able to answer this question better. So is there a way to know the resources that can help us improve our English language skills? And the answer is yes. So there are free resources that you can do on your own. This includes some applications like Duolingo and other free online resources. Other resources can include specific courses for your field, for example, English for nurses, for example. So with this case, we're going to provide you, if these courses are paid, we're going to provide you with codes to access them and the means to be able to get to this course and take it and improve your English. So please get in touch with us through Facebook or email, and we'll be able to provide these resources. So another English-related question, I got an overall score of 6.5 in my IELTS test. Is this score enough? Again, the question depends on the employer, but typically this score is most of the times more than enough. It shows that you have a functional command of English and that you can be eligible for the visa. But again, this really depends. Some employers could ask for a score of 7, but typically your score is pretty great. So it depends on the opportunity. So I'm not seeing any new questions. I'm going to give a couple more minutes if you have any questions or concerns or any comments. And again, to keep up to date with the current opportunities, please visit us. Please visit our Facebook page and follow us there. If there's an opportunity, we do share it there. And also, if you want to register yourself, feel free to do so on tbbtalent.org. I'm going to leave this on the screen while we receive more comments. Thank you, Celine. For anybody who's joining last minute, we're doing the Q&A right now. All right. It seems that we're done with questions today, but if you have any questions at any point, if you have any concerns, if you want to know more about a certain opportunity or a certain process, then please do reach out to us on Facebook or our email that we're going to share. And we'll be more than happy to answer your questions, and we can take it from there. So I'm going to share our contact details if you want to reach out to us. First of all, you can do so through Facebook. Our team will respond to you through messages. And if you don't want to do this on Facebook, you can reach out to us through email. I'm going to share the email that you can use, and that is info@townbeyondboundaries.org. Please feel free to do so. And with that, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Celine. Thank you, Noura. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you, Luay. We were very happy to receive your questions today. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us through Facebook or email. And for the time being, hopefully we'll see you in another webinar. And stay safe, and we look forward to receiving your applications. Have a great day, everybody.